Hello, everybody, and welcome to an impromptu stream. Some of the weather unfortunately canceled some of my plans, and I thought, hey, you know what? Let's make use of this and do some more updates. Maybe even like do some of the stuff that I was talking about last week, and I'll show you a little bit of the things that I've been able to put in place. Uh, this week, and we'll use some of those in today. Hopefully, we'll get some of my plans done. So the plans would be one of the missions in the game. We were working in the past few streams around this area where you would be able to access the um, the dam area through one of these maintenance tunnels. Some of the stuff that we worked on building, was this hallway, going down through here and all the way into the dam. So what I was talking last week was to try and use some kind of stealth mechanics, some hiding mechanics, make use of some of these lockers, maybe not this particular mesh, but make use of some of these lockers so the player can hide from some of the enemies that are going to be patrolling around here. So with that, that would be one of it, one part of it. The other one would be, once the player gets here. So remember, you wouldn't be able to go through, let's say, the kind of the front door because of these trucks are here, and they're really deadly. So I've also placed one down here at this entrance, so you wouldn't be able to just, stroll in, walk in directly. So what I did is a little kind of cute little thing, which would be, being able to crawl under a fence and use this kind of a stealth type of approach. Like I said, these trucks are not, you can't engage them, or like even if you have weapons, they're not damageable or anything. So they're really a blocker. And so you have to find an alternate route. So, that would what we would start with is, crawling through here. There's going to be a couple of guards patrolling around this area. And then once you are able to get past them, you know, uh, go through the stairs down in here, and let's see about evading some of these guards on in this corridor. So yeah, let's get to it. One other thing that I also wanted to show, and I might have mentioned this in a previous stream, is the transition between and this area is not yet finished, so it's just a block out at the moment. But like I said, something I mentioned before is the transition from the outside to interiors, and mainly, you have like the forest sounds outside, and there's like the birds chirping, whatever, like the wind blowing. But then you transition into an interior, and while Unreal has a way to do that, and I'll show you how I use it, I also wanted to make it so that, for example, if you're just here on the steps, you still hear some of the sound from outside and start hearing some of the sound from inside. And as you are fully inside, like down here, you only hear the sound that is here in the basement or like this underground. And then the same thing happens once you go back outside. Once you're on these stairs, the more you get close to the outside, the higher the volume of, the birds and the chirping sounds, you'll be able to hear them. So yeah, let's start off with that, because that might be a little bit easier, and then we can add in the elements for, like, dealing with the enemies and so on. One thing that I did want to do is, the enemies are going to be patrolling around this area. And I don't want them to see you right before you um, when you're outside the fence. I'm not entirely sure if like a masked object like this blocks the sight. I haven't tried it yet, um, but just to be on the safe side, once you come out of this crawl mode, I don't want the player to just start shooting at you and kill you. So let's add a couple of items uh, out here so that when you kind of like when you get out of this crawling mechanic, you're in a position where you're already hidden, so the enemies are not going to see you. So let's I'm just going to use a couple of the things that I already have here. So maybe some of these like water tanks. I'm just going to move them right about here. So when you exit this crawl mechanic, like I said, you're going to be exiting right behind these, so that way, um, hopefully the enemies are not going to be able to spot you. So let's make sure that they are quite the perception, especially with sight, is pretty strong. I haven't toned it down so much, so they would be able to see through like gaps and stuff. So we'll test this out, and I'm also gonna add a spawner. So I'll start by let's add these, and this is because this is pretty simple to set up, at least for the enemies, and kind of a so this guy is going to be patrolling, and let's also add a patrol path. And we'll have him kind of just walk around these buildings here. So let's do maybe I think 3 would be enough to make a triangle. Let's see, that's point 2, so he's gonna walk to this point. Then that's interesting. It picked them up in order, which is pretty cool. Like 2, 1, 0. All right, so then he's gonna go over here. So I'm hoping he's just gonna walk around like this. All right, and so that's our patrol path. And I'm gonna leave it as is for now. I was just looking at this and it's hard, a little bit hard to, not necessarily to see, but to kind of see where it says patrol path, especially on a background like this. And this guy, so he's gonna spawn here, and then this is gonna be his patrol path. If I can select it, there we go. All right, so let's jump into game. I wanted to first test, so this is my player start point here. Just for testing, I'm not gonna um, walk from all the way back there. And we'll test of, going under the fence over in this area, and uh, and then kind of trying to walk behind this guy and see if like a stealth takedown will work. All right, so let's jump into game. I just wanted to make sure that I'm saving this. Oh yeah, and another update since last week. You might notice that, again, I'm not entirely sure how it works with streaming and how much this memory is going to decrease. But remember, like last week, we had that at sometimes going like to 3 GB. Now I've managed to make it so it doesn't really go over 2. And, it's still, there's still some more that can be done. But I'm assuming once the game is built, this shouldn't show up. All right, so let's get into it. So it takes usually, especially in the editor, since everything is loaded, it takes about 15 seconds or so. All right, so there's that guy. He's like patrolling around. He's not seeing me at the moment. So let's get out here, and we're like right behind these tanks. So let's also see if he can see me to begin with, just to make, to check on his perception as well. Just hiding in here for now. Let's see, where is he at? Where are you? Oh, there he is. I've actually had him so that he stops in every patrol point for like 10 seconds, which, testing purposes, it might be a little much, but oh yeah, there you go. He sees me. Okay, he was just about to start shooting, so he's gonna go back to his business. Oh, there he goes. I think he saw me. Ah, damn it. Um, and oh yeah, this is actually an interesting little issue now that I've made some additions to the AI. Let me just turn this down. So I've made some additions to the AI, so when he can see you, um, now what he should be doing is actually go to the last point after he detected you. If um, um, if he does indeed has a detection or like detection that happened, he would go and investigate just like he did now. Like for example, if I was to try and distract them, so let's see if we can do that. And again, this stupid road shows up. I'm not sure why. But let's try and like throw like a little bit of a distractor item. So there he goes. He goes to check on that. So that's kind of the expected behavior when he goes to investigate a noise, like a distractor noise or something like that. But when he sees me and detects me all the way, like in this case, starts shooting, and he doesn't see me after that, what he should be doing is actually go to that location. So basically, when I was inside of that camper, he should have gone um, and kind of checked on it. Oops. Yeah, so see, like, he's not going to be able to navigate where I'm at here, but, um, and I'm not sure why he can see me, but why isn't he firing at me? Oh, there he goes. Oop, and he killed himself. Interesting. He was trying to shoot up, and I think that might be a little bit of an issue there. Okay, so, um, so this guy is patrolling around, is doing what we expect him to do. And now, one thing that I've noticed is that this building seems a little bit, even though I don't think it's more scaled for a third-person shoot person game than a first person, so it seems a little large. Um, so let's do this kind of entry audio thing that I've been testing out. And let me see if I have the right blueprint here. I'm hoping. Yes. All right. So this would be. I actually haven't tested this out on a slope, which is weird. But yeah, I haven't tested it out to see how it would work if you're going down the stairs, like going into a basement or something like that. I've only tested it on like flat ground, like entering a room. But let's see how that's gonna work out. So I have this blueprint with like environmental sounds, which is uh, basically it has the birds chirping and also the um, just a default interior sound that you would transition to once you go underground. So now let's actually add this in, and I'm not entirely sure why the interior box is not the same scale as this one, so let me make it the same. I'm just gonna try and use um, some more of like round numbers here. So 90, basically like a doorway type of scale. Okay, so now let's place this one like this. This is kind of a weird position, but I think that should be good. All right, and let's make it a little bit longer. So the way this works is you see um, it has an exterior and an interior. I guess it actually could be flipped the other way around. So once you end overlap with the exterior box and you're inside of this bigger box that's between the interior and exterior, the system starts calculating or like this blueprint starts looking at where you are positioned. So are you like closer to the exterior or closer to the interior? So based off of that positioning, it modifies the volume of the exterior sound or versus the interior sound. So now the reason I also made it a little bit longer just to fit the stairs, and actually I just wanted to see if I can bring this up a little bit like this to make sure that I'm hitting the box there. There we go. So yeah, the reason I made it this size is I wanted to add an audio volume that it's gonna take in the interior sounds. So the way you can do that is there's like an audio volume here, um, and this box, I believe this is the one. Yeah, I think so. So let's adjust this to fit this underground area. So for now, I'm just gonna spread it out for this area here. Let's make it so that it's. I know there was a way. There we go. With the latest release of Unreal, it seems like some of these volumes are kind of hard to tell when they overlap something or not. I hope they fix it. All right, so let's make this one, since it's a hallway, we'll just make it longer like this. All right, let's see. It's don't want. Oh, that was gigantic. Still a little bit too much, but we are getting a little closer. Maybe 15,000 could work. It's a little bit better. And the way this works, this is the first time I'm testing it to this scale. So we'll see. Hopefully it works. But everything the audio that's inside this, it's only going to be rendered inside of this volume. So that's why I wanted to make it so that this volume, let's see, it is right below the entrance. So like I said, what you would do, and it's very hard to, should have left it the way it was, or you know what, I think on second thought, maybe I'll make two of these. So let me try and do that. It might be a little bit easier because it might be a little bit easier to manage, especially setting up the one by the entrance. Because once I exit this entry uh, blueprint, I want to only hear what's inside, and that's where this comes in. But the problem with it is, like I said, being this large is kind of hard to manage. So let's just set it up for the entrance here. So it would cover, let's see, I think this would cover it. And then over here should cover it as well. All right, and inside of this is where you would place your interior audio. So for that, let's just do like a think you can grab like an ambient sound and place it here. And I'll just call this one, I wish I could double click here and rename it, but I think you actually have to have it in the outliner. And this would be maybe dam interior. So this would be like the sound of, maybe like a kind of a whooshing type of cave sound, because at least I have one of those. And this would play in the background. Of course, once you get past some of these machineries, there'd be like localized sounds, like a buzzing sound or some other, like a rotating type of vent, fan type of sound. So let's add this one. I think I had one called literally cave, and we'll use this one for now. And let's do a override attenuation, and then set this up to like a big radius, 5,000. And the other thing, when you set some of these up, you got to set it up to a class. And I'll show you. This is just a sound class. And let's make it, let me see, what did I call it? Environment sounds. So once you set up this environment sounds class, there's this property here to apply ambient volumes. So if this sound is within one of those ambient volumes we've just set up, then it's only going to get played, or you're only going to hear it inside of that volume. So let's test this out. Right now, I believe we have everything in place to do that. So we have everything that's going to play in the underground, which is this cave sound. And then we have this one, which is in charge of fading the audio from the outside to the inside. Because the thing with this box is, once you enter the box, it's just a complete shut off of what's outside, and it just plays what's inside. So there's no transition, you know. And that might be fine, for example, if you fall underwater, like you fall out of the airplane, or you jump into water. Like for example, with the water volume, this would probably be perfect, to place it under the water surface. So you only have that kind of like a, bubbling sounds or some other um, water type sounds that you hear underwater. All right, let's save this and jump into it. All right, so there we go. That guy is patrolling over there. And I think, all right, so getting out of here. All right, so let's just walk by this guy for now. And unfortunately, I am hearing that sound already. I'm not entirely sure what I missed. So I'm hearing both of them. But just to give you an idea of what happens um, when you go from the outside to the inside, right? I was telling you about this transition. So hopefully you can hear it. Oh God, this guy was kind of paying attention. All right, so you can still hear a little bit of the sound from the outside. So pay attention as I kind of walk down into the basement. So that's kind of what I wanted to have, where once you walk into the basement, the the sound from the outside fades off completely. And now let's see if we go back outside. There's still some collision issues here with the ladder, so stairs. So as you go back outside, now you can hear like the birds chirping and the kind of the wind, the exterior noises. The only problem is that I was hearing um, the um, the interior sound, that cave sound, even when I was outside of this volume. So let me check, because the one thing that you do need to have is this audio here, this interior. It has to be inside of the of this um, of this volume. But let me see if I forgot to add something in here. I know there were a couple of items that uh, also needed to be added. Um, I know that this one, I think this one can stay like this. Um, so this is the audio volume. This one doesn't get the class assigned. It's only on this one that gets the class assigned. And it is done via that class that you add, which of course it's not showing up by default, maybe under like an advanced setting. All right, so you have this environment sounds, which is set to apply ambient volumes. And I wonder why it wasn't playing, or not that it wasn't playing, but the sound itself, you could hear it from outside of the volume. Yeah, so the volume is definitely on the ground, but why is it that you can still hear it? I mean, this is its radius, though a little too big for let's actually just do the fall off range to be 0. And I'll bring this down a little bit. Maybe let's make that half. Um, and we'll see why that is playing outside of the volume as well. Like I said, we might jump real quick into the test level just to check on it, because in the test level I was able to get it to work. I'm not sure if um, I don't believe I'm missing any of the settings that I've had on my test level, but I could be wrong. So let's jump into game real quick and see if we get the same thing happening. But yeah, I wanted to show you that transition between coming out from outside and going inside. So now I've reduced the radius for that, but it's so we can't hear it. But let's see. Nope. I mean, let me take care of this guy, so at least we can like walk around in peace. All right, there you go. So I'm just gonna try and yeah. So see, this is I've entered that audio, and I can hear it, which um, I'm not entirely sure why it's not being kept to why it's not being kept to that volume, and you can hear it outside. But so there you go. That the exterior sound goes away, and we're just walking inside now. And this is, again, some of the work that we've done last time. And now the sound, this is interesting. I walked um, out of the box as well. Or let's actually check, did I? Let's see if this is still inside of that volume. And no, yeah, I actually walked outside of it, but like I said, I walked I didn't walk outside of that sound radius. So that's why I was still able to hear it. So then why isn't it working? So let me jump into my test level real quick and just double check. I believe the setup was the same, no difference, but let me just do a quick double check on it. So in here, I kind of have the same, just this test setup where there's the audio, and so let's actually change this to be that cave noise, cave wind 2, and increase the radius. So let's remove the fall off distance and increase the radius to be bigger than the volume. So a similar setup where I have this entryway here. You know, once you enter this first box, it starts, and you enter the interior box. It starts checking where the player is. So now let's jump into game mode here. And like I said, this one was made bigger. And I'm just gonna duplicate these a little bit just to highlight that this is where the room is. And I'll see if I can still hear it outside of the room. Yeah, so as you can see here, I am not hearing that audio. And only in here, once I enter that audio volume, now I'm outside the audio volume, but here I should still be, if I made things right, like right next to the wall, I should still be inside of this. So what was I missing? Or is this something that doesn't work with wall partition? Let's take a look. So fall off distance still set to 0. Everything else is default. Um, let's see, anything on the box itself that I might have missed? Yeah, so the box is also, everything is default on the audio volume. It's a box shape. I did change this exterior frequency cutoff to 0.5 because for whatever reason it was set to 20,000, and the documentation, I believe the documentation specifies something different. Let me just double check and share with you guys. Audio volume, Unreal Engine. Okay, so here's the documentation for that. And somewhere, so there's all the shapes that you can have. That's actually, I don't think that's the right one. It's interesting. Audio volume. That's what I want to look for. Sometimes the search isn't working. And sometimes it brings up like the API endpoint. All right, so let's not look at API, audio volume. Okay, well, I guess not rely on the search on the on the dev documentation. Where did I find that? One second. Because this is definitely not the one that I was looking at earlier. Okay, there we go. So it is actually called audio gameplay volumes. Um, yeah. So there you go. So this is kind of the documentation on where you have to set up this class that has a setting um, to be used with audio volumes, and like you can see that in here. And let's take a look. Where is it? There's our volume. If you have a reverb effect, and let's see. Oh, where did it set up the? Okay, well, did I just blow by it or not? This is not even that one that I was looking at. Oh my God, this documentation is all over the map. Um, Basically, what it was showing was the setup for those uh, those effects, this exterior LPF and then interior LPF. So I'm gonna do the same thing in that main level and see if that might fix it. But let's actually change this to the default that we have there and see if this also um, if we're going to be able to hear that. There you go. So see, now you can hear it. So it's that that setting which makes no sense. I mean, I'm not sure who came up with the name for that, but apparently it's something related to these LPF frequency cutoff. Um, so I'm wondering if this is like something above or below this, and you can hear what's inside. This setting doesn't make, I think, any sense for the purpose of this volume, which is pretty odd. At least, uh, I'm speaking through my no, novice type of game development hat on. Okay, so let's go back in there and apply these settings and see how that works. Since we're here and it takes quite a little bit less to load, let me show you kind of what I was planning, how I was planning to use this stealth mechanism with hiding in some of these closets or lockers, boxes. Think of for anybody that played Hitman. Um, think of some of those kind of hiding mechanisms. So I'm going to place this over here. I'm going to let the enemy walk past it, and let's see if we can use that as a hiding place. All right, so there he goes. Oh, okay. One thing I forgot to do is actually um, hide your character. So this is you, of course, looking good over there. But let's see if we can see that. And but you're like it's set up so that you're not detected by the enemy. Basically, you're ignored by the AI, so to speak. You're not registered with the senses of the AI anymore. All right, so it's coming over. Let's see if we exit, and then we just do the deed. Oh, interesting. This one should have disappeared, like the interaction. But yeah, so I wanted to share with you guys that as well. Also, as a means of transportation around the world, there's going to be like a couple of vehicles available. This is localized to the factory, so that's separate. But things like this, where you'd be able to, I thought you'd be able to enter it. Why is it that you're Okay, what did I introduce? I'm gonna have to look at this and see where I'm not able to interact with the car anymore, which is interesting. All right, let's go back into that main level and change those frequencies down to point 0.2, which I tried point 0.2, it seemed to work. I don't know if there's a better setting for that. All right. Yeah, so this one, as you remember, when when I did have Unreal crash on me, it does take a little bit longer to load into the world because it, like I said, it literally loads everything. All right, so we're back in here, and also one thing to note that that crawling mechanism that you see is the same one that I use for the zip lines and for all the other like custom movements that well, custom movements, not like climbing, but kind of just squeezing between like two walls or yeah. So let's select our audio volume, which I believe is this one. There we go. And we were saying to adjust this exterior one and interior one to point 0.2 and point 0.2. So once you went all the way into the corridor, you would be inside of this volume and you would be able to hear only what's inside the volume. So that way, there's still an audio underground after you left that transition box. Okay, let's actually, now that we're here, I can probably make this box like extend it out a little bit, like so. And don't see if there will be any issues with adding. And I think it definitely looks better without having this. Where was that one? Where was that setting? I thought I had it selected. Hollow, was it? I did have one of the settings where it was showing like a yellow, um, the yellow walls for this volume. All right, so let's bring it to about there. And let's see, it extends all the way past the entrance, which is perfect. Okay, well, let's test this out. Oh, actually, first, I wanted to grab the interior audio for this area, which is that cave audio. And I'll make this a little bit bigger, this cave wind. And we'll see how I'll put it back to 5,000 and see how it works with I think, well, actually, let's make it bigger so we'll be able to tell right as I jump into game. If I can hear it, then we know that the frequency setting didn't really do anything. All right, so let's jump into game here and see if this worked or not. And I believe I did change that. Or did I change it? I was just selecting the things and did I do anything to it or where is that? I think I selected it and I was looking at it if it's hollow or not, and but did I do anything to it? Let's see. So this is the audio volume. I did. And then why is it not behaving like the one in my test level? I don't think I missed any of the settings. Let's go back in again. And I do think I've placed that right inside of the volume, the audio. Oh, there we go. That was weird. It must have been because of I set it to hollow, so maybe it doesn't have any of the walls that maybe has like a ray tracing to see if I don't know. But now, as you can hear let me crank this up a little bit. Um, and oh, actually, I didn't have the desktop audio turned on, so maybe you weren't hearing anything. Or maybe just my audio. Oh, shoot. Whew. Uh, that turret eventually saw me, so yeah, that's why you want to keep away. Okay, so my health went down by quite a bit. Oh yeah, the other thing is I've fixed you can actually pull up your device now to look at things instead of having that little pop-up. But I mean, this is like an option in the game that you can like set it up to actually view the physical device versus just the HUD. And yeah, the counter on the side is that, and that's why it's stuck here, is it's hitting that as I've shown you previously. Um, I have the mechanism in place where you would, pull the weapon back if it hits a wall, kind of move it to the side or so it doesn't go through the wall. And this is basically this is also a weapon, like a weapon class, this item. So that way it also hits the foliage. It seems like the foliage volumes they generate that hit, so apologies for for being, having to look at that. All right, so let's see. This guy is right there. I'm starting to think that maybe like if I do some kind of like a lean mechanism, I'm wondering how that would work. All right, so that guy is gone. Oh, I should have like tried to put like something in here that you can hide in, but for now, let's just kind of hide inside of this and wait for this guy and take him out. Yeah, so unfortunately, my apologies for that output there. It's still like hitting it because, I've spawned the device. So even though I have it attached to my back, it's still trying to like check if it hits something. Which actually, it shouldn't be doing that. It should be updating that. All right, so let me wait for this guy to walk past me. Oh, it went, oh, so it's not looping. It actually went back the other way. All right, so let's see how it works now when I walk down here. So outside, there's the birds chirping, the kind of the water from the river, or not the river, but the dumping from the dam. So let's see what happens when I go inside. So hopefully you can hear that as well, um, just as what that is like. All right, so down in here, let's try and set up a couple of enemies patrolling, and let's see how we can get past them. The one thing um, where I think it might be um, easier to work with. Um, let's think about this is where somebody that would be like a kind of a Hitman video game designer kind of, oh yeah, you want to place this over here and then place something else over there, which would be interesting. I'm thinking this open space here could provide some of that. So trying to find some of these open areas where some of those lockers could be placed. So let me start with this zone over here, and we'll see how we can do it. The Hitman comes to mind because it you can also hide in crates. So with the locker being implemented, the same exact thing could be done with a crate. But let's start with the locker first. And let's see how that works. So this would be the little locker that you can hide inside. And I wanted to place something else around it so it's not just like sits out here like this. Trying to think what could, haven't really planned this so well apparently. Let's see, let me place this over here. Maybe on the other side of these lockers. And also, let's put some things that you could potentially hide behind. So you're not noticed immediately by the enemy. So maybe some crates. So if you think about it, you'll be coming from this end, and let's see if I. So you're coming from here, and the enemy is patrolling down this way. It kind of defeats the purpose in a way, because like I'm trying to think of, outside it'd be easy, like he's walking around in a circle, kind of just going around. And if these buildings would have been close, for example, and this would be like a crate or the locker outside here where you would hide in, you would just wait for him to like, walk past you and then, take him out. But in the case of this, you would come through this entrance down through here, and this guy would just be going back and forth. And what would make it worth for the player to hide and to use a locker to hide inside? Um, instead of just like walking behind the enemy and then, taking him out. So that's one thing that I'm trying um, to see how it would make sense. Let me try putting this one over here. Yeah, it definitely works slower once there's like another rendering of the of this happening. So the enemy would patrol down this way. I'm trying in my head to make a good case for the use of this down this hallway instead of just you waiting back here and then once the enemy turns around, kind of following them down. Well, so let's give this a shot. Let's add another enemy in here. In the case of Hitman, right? I can definitely see the use of this because you can infiltrate certain areas where there's like multiple enemies, for example, and on the other hand, I think I know. I have a better idea. So the enemy would only patrol um, or be static. I think that might be better. So instead of the enemy patrolling, what or have a short patrol path. Uh, but the reason I'm thinking of having the enemy, um, it would be the use of a distractor, right? So if again I kind of come back to Hitman for a little bit, but you would throw a coin or like a distractor in my case, and the enemy would go and investigate that. So for example, the enemy would be down here. So let's start there. The enemy would be down here, and it would be, let me just delete this guy. So the patrol would be like from here to here. And um, I could potentially have another enemy patrolling from here to here. And one of them, so you couldn't really sneak up behind the guy that goes just this route because you might get noticed by the guy that does this route. He might be coming back here and seeing you. So, so then you would just do them one at a time, right? And you would kind of throw a distractor that this guy would hear it, right? And you would throw it somewhere out here. Then you would hide inside the locker as he investigates. Like for example, the locker, I'm just gonna position it right here. Might not be a really good place just because of the lighting. It might not look so good. Let's see if I do it over here. Over there, that might be a little bit better. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this works. So basically, you would come all the way to here and see this guy that's patrolling, but you want to kind of entice him to come and check out this spot, right? And at that point, you can hide inside the locker, like throw your distractor, hide inside the locker. This guy is going to come up to investigate. And then when he is, his back is turned to you, then you can take him out. So let's try that out. Um, so we have the enemy spawner here, one of them. And then we'll do another one over here. And we'll add a couple of patrol paths for these guys. So there's like 2 points. He's just going back and forth. Very basic patrol. Point 1 and 2. We'll make it so that it's looping. I think they should always be looping. Not entirely sure why I'm not setting them up that way. All right, so we got the patrol path to be this one. And then for this guy, we'll do another patrol path with 2 elements. Again, just back and forth between that and that. And then we select that one. All right, well, let's see if this theory works in practice. So I'm just going to jump into game. And again, I'm going to start from, you know, outside of the fence and try to get inside here. Let's see how this works. All right, so we're here, going under the fence. And I've used these yellow tarps just to signify that, you know, there's something there. Of course, um, you know, in the mission itself, when you look at the device, you'd be able to see that, you know, like find the yellow tarp, and you know, the yellow tarp kind of shows you where you can go under the fence. All right, so let's see. That guy is like going that way, but I hope he's not going to be able to see me. So let's try and go back here. And again, as you can hear, like the audio from the outside is decreasing, and now it like switches over to, in this case, that's the one thing that I had handy, this this audio for like with cave, like a cave wind type of audio. All right, so let's see, what do we have in here? Let's actually go full screen. All right, so there we go. We got these guys patrolling. Oh my God, what the heck? I think the collision for those boxes are a little bit bad. Did this guy spawn? I'm wondering if I just had him a little too low and it just might have fell through the floor. All right, so there's that guy over there, and he saw me. So at this point, he should be coming over here to investigate. But right now, oh, actually, he did. Oh my God, dude, come on. My bad. Okay, leave me alone. Oh. Okay, well, start over. Uh, all right, let's do this guy. I'm just gonna lift him up a little bit. I'm wondering if he just spawned under the floor. This guy spawned fine, but not sure why this guy didn't. I don't think there's anything here that would be kind of a weird collision that it would affect him in any way. Just do a quick check. No, everything looks fine. So yeah, and this is this little lip here is where I was talking about the issue with the stairs collision. So I'm just gonna have to fix that. Okay, let's go back into lit mode, and what I'll do is I'll skip over the, you know, the crawling under the fence and evading this guy outside here, and just start right here. This would kind of test out the audio a little bit. So actually, let me spawn on this side so that way that guy that's patrolling doesn't have, he's not going to be able to see me. All right, let's see how this works. All right. Let's go. I think he's like panting is a little too loud, so I might need to tone that down a little bit. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a tight collision around there. Did this guy spawn this time? What's the matter with this guy? I wonder why he didn't spawn. He's patrolling. The BP path is the patrol path is this one, which is 8. That is pretty weird. Let me try and use this guy for now. So I'm gonna set him up with the 8th patrol path. Let's try that again. All right. Is it gonna work or? Oh yeah, so he's coming this way, as you can see. So like I said, that's why I wanted to have 2 of them at the same time, because that way it'd be a little bit more difficult for you to just, or have them walk on a shorter path. Like by the time he reaches that point, he would probably turn around and see you as you going towards him. So what I wanted to try and do is, um, kind of throw a distractor here. Whoops, I didn't want to do that, but so there's a little bit of a, yeah, this, oh, huh, he saw me? How did he see me? I thought I was like removing myself from the perception system, so that's why. But let me address because you're still visible. Let me change that real quick. And at least hide the character's mesh. Where is it? Exit. This is on enter. All right, so visibility. And the other thing I'm thinking of would be the ability to throw the distractor while you're inside the locker, right? So or like you're hiding inside a crate, you'd be able to like throw something. And that's one thing that I actually haven't tried it in Hitman, um, to see if you can distract an enemy, but can you distract an enemy when you're hidden, right? You don't want to like throw a coin, uh, issue that sound, and then hide, like kind of what I'm doing here. So we'll see how this works. But for now, let me make sure that the enemy can't find you. Um, so let me see. I'm having like the enemy, like I'm hiding the myself basically, and I'm registering from the perception system, so I shouldn't be able to detect me. But let's try this again. And there's also like the positioning of this, because right now, um, like where that thing is might be a little bit too close to the wall, and turning the camera around, I might not be able to see the enemy, like as they walk away or they come to investigate that thing. So there he is. And if I was to kind of go back here and like throw this, there's like the noise. And it's interesting that it doesn't hide the. I thought I was able to make it to hide this this guy, because he's still like getting control at the moment. Actually, he shouldn't be. Uh, 1 second. Why isn't it? You should have disabled the input. So as I was showing you in the test level, um, it should have disabled the input from yourself, like the character. And why doesn't it? Why did I miss that? So basically, I'm also having um, let's actually do this. Let's try this one more time. So I want to disable input from my character so I can move them, and then just enable input for the locker. So you can see, like, when you move the camera around, you can do that. And the other thing that I want to do is I don't want to, I'm just going to remove um, once you're inside the locker, I don't want the outline to be shown, because it kind of takes away from how easy you can, like, how well you can see things. And so what I'll do is once you enter the locker, just going to clear this array that I have that highlights items. So let's see how this works. The only thing that I can't figure out why it doesn't work is the visibility, like the player itself. So I might need to do a little bit of investigation on that. Let's see if first I'm not gonna use the distractor just yet, but I'm gonna try and see about getting into the locker and how visible things are if that outline is not there. So wow, he was able to see me from quite far. Okay, so there is something that for whatever reason, um, it doesn't seem to hide um, well, hide myself, basically so I because I'm not moving the character, my character anywhere else. He's still, like you can see, uh, that was interesting. So see, this is my expected behavior. I'm not entirely sure why that didn't do it like this, where you don't see the your character, right? And you can just, you can look outside, but and then once you exit, you're back. You can the character is visible again, but unfortunately, I should make this interaction text clear and reset to something else. So you can see like now this is basically expected behavior where you have the text saying exit and you don't see your body basically anymore. And now let's see if we can test the behavior of the distractor. I can't remember how big of a noise it makes. So let's see if I'm not entirely sure if that was loud enough for that guy to hear it. Oh no, it was. So there you go. He comes over to like investigate that noise, and I think he's gonna walk around to a couple of points. I guess he's not able to get around those pipes maybe. Oh, there he goes. So he found another point somewhere up here, I think. Whoops. He almost saw me. Now he did. Um, but basically, that's the idea of trying to position this hiding spot in a way like, and also when the other thing that I need to adjust is when the the enemy goes to investigate, he's gonna walk up to where the sound was and then walk around, and what it does, it goes to 3 points in the vicinity to uh, to air quotes investigate. So what he should be doing maybe is stay a little bit longer in these points, uh, giving you time to exit the locker and take him out. So I'm trying to think if there might be a better placement for for the locker itself, especially when it comes to, for example, corridors like this, right? Um, where they only go pretty much back and forth. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna need to do a couple of tries, kind of depending on the environment setup, especially when it comes uh, to these to these areas. Like I said, corridors, like just lengthy type of patrol paths, where you don't want to, just keep walking behind them and then do a stealth takedown. Yeah. Um, so I'll have to look into why this one in particular is like it doesn't it worked after I exited, but not the first time that I interacted with it, which was weird. Like I don't really understand why that was happening. So I'll need to do some investigation around that, and hopefully I'll be able to get that figured out today. And I um, hopefully I'll get that done today, and for tomorrow's stream to have that fixed. Um, okay, so guys, with that said, those were kind of the main updates from this week. Like I said, mainly around entering into these interior spaces, the some of the enemy AI around, as I was showing you in the test level, um, around ignoring you when you're hiding inside of a locker or like you're hiding somewhere, be it a crate, like I said, the the things I was looking at in Hitman, there was like a crate and the locker where the player could hide, and so once you're inside, you're ignored by the enemy. Yeah, um, I was thinking if I mentioned a while back that I was also thinking of maybe doing some streaming, no, obviously, but maybe streaming like playing video games, right? And just trying to look at some of these mechanics. And since I just installed Hitman to review some of the ways they were doing um, these, um, like these stealth mechanics, I was wondering if folks would be interested in, I'm not a very good gamer by any means, but kind of just um, watching me trying to dissect some of the gameplay mechanics, like the hiding or like the um, another one that I found really interesting was the disguise in Hitman, like where you take take somebody down, like one of the people, the NPCs in the game, and then you take their clothes, so you can like blend in. And hey, Julius, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I mean, and I definitely like try these. I definitely want to try these mechanics out. I just wasn't sure if people would be interested in me in watching me play the game and trying to discuss these mechanics. But um, so if there's any interest, then totally I am down. I was actually thinking of playing a little bit of Hitman today. Not sure if that's a game that's of interest to people or how many fans of that type of game are out there that are also watching my channel. And but yeah, it's definitely a good source of inspiration, I have to say. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's definitely true. So I'm just trying to think of if it's worth trying to play that because it's been a while since I have, so it'd be um, like yesterday I was able um, to play it a little bit, and because I wanted to look at how they did these mechanics, but I still kind of, it took me a while until I found uh, a locker and a crate to hide in. I was like walking around. It's like I remember there was a crate here somewhere, but where is it? I just wanted to test how that is done. And um, but the one thing that I haven't tested out, and actually, you know what? Let's do it because like I'm kind of I don't have anything else. Um, so I don't have anything else to do today, at least, I just have some fixes. So let's take a look because I wanted to test a few things out in Hitman. So let's actually check it out because, like I said, I really like the game itself. Actually, I think I have it in on Epic. Um, oh yeah, I mean, I wish I could, but none of my ideas. I don't think there's anything, original, like trade marketable. Um, Nowadays, it's really hard to have something that's really original. I think the only thing that you can probably trademark would be like a story. Uh, like a lore type of thing. Like for example, with like Far Cry is not anything that's trade marketable, if that makes any sense, right? It's a first-person shooter that is, based on taking over certain zones in the world, like liberating some of the zones, and then uh, game over. That's it. Oh, thank you so much. But which one are you talking to about? Like um, like like this? Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So if new game mechanic definitely is, but I think, like I said, nowadays there's very few I think that are original. I can't really, and again, I only play certain types of games. So, the cement wall. Yeah, yeah. That's actually a decal. Um, and oh, thank you. It's just a decal, and there's many ways to do it. Um, I can after we do a little bit of this, um, I can show you. Let me turn the audio down a little bit. Um, yeah, so there's a couple of things, mechanics that I wanted to try. Um, and as you can tell, yeah, play. Um,
Welcome back, Initiate. As an
so in
ICA
here,
agent,
I wanted
every
to
challenge you
try.
face can be overcome in multiple
Um,
ways. Complete this
okay,
ex-
yeah, okay, I know, I got the spiel. I wanted to try to throw the distractor, So in my game, since I also have like distractors, and I cannot remember. Uh, uh, so yeah, there we go. Thrown coin is an effective method of distraction. People who hear the impact will go to investigate, just like I have. If they find a coin, they will pick it up. So you lose the distractor item. So I guess it's hold right key and then press the middle mouse button. All right, so let's do the lockpick. And this one, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make any use of it, but pretty much like I have, it would be like, okay, throw the coin, the NPC slash enemy will go to investigate. So let's first, I wanted to, as you can see, this one also has a detection mechanism, which is much better graphics or like much better look than what I have, but it's similar idea. So let's say Julius, I certainly currently what they did in Armory Forgers. I mean, no. Oh yeah, 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 that's true. And that's a big thing, like with the houses, you just have to make them, and if they all follow the same kind of material pattern, it's easy to optimize them, I'm sure. All right, so let's see, like in my case, there'd be like one of these guys. So you can do the same thing, like the subdue and incapacitation type of thing. But I wanted to try the distractor and see, for example, how this guy
What the
behaves.
hell?
Uh-oh, I
Hey,
did
you!
not want to do
Who's
that.
been wandering around where you're not allowed?
Um,
Seriously, you are in trouble, young man. All sorts of trouble.
okay, come back here. All right, so the subdue, kind of similar to what I have. Oops, I need to like, but I do like the that it does have like a little bit more of an interaction where you actually press the button to um, to subdue. Like in my case, I just go up, I press attack, and then you take it, you know, you take down the enemy. But yeah, let's do a disguise here so I can go inside or not be detected as easily. And this is again Hitman specific. Um, I can't think of you know, I was thinking of doing something like this at one point, but I think it might have been just a little bit too much. Now this is interesting. So I threw that um, detonator, or not detonator, because I hold the detonator, but I threw the explosive device, and unfortunately, I do not seem to get another uh, thing for me to do. Like I can't throw the distractor anymore. So I just need to like pick this back up and let's how do you change the thing that you're about to throw? Because right now I'm gonna throw another one of these distractors, so I don't want to detonate this thing. All right, so let me see. The one thing that I do like about Hitman is the UI. Like the UI is, I think, is really well done. Um, but let me see the options: mouse and keyboard, key bindings. All right, so moving, agility, cover, take disguise. Where is the? Wondering if you have to go into the inventory to. So let's see. I have to select this one. I was thinking there's like an easier way to than going into the inventory to select an item. All right, so now I have the coin.
Hi there.
So in this case, they're all like neutral, but you know, let's see if how it behaves if I throw this out.
Huh?
Oh, interesting. So he didn't go for the coin. And okay, I was thinking that I lost it. But that was interesting. I was thinking that it would go for the coin. Let me try and throw it again.
Say,
So those guys do not get distracted by the coin. Now this guy here, this guy can see through my disguise. So there's some of those enemies, but let's see, does he get distracted?
huh?
Oh yeah. Well, he actually got distracted like he looked at me, which
We gotta make a
is that
mental
would
note to
detect
strap
me.
this thing down tight before we take off.
So it looks like depending on the like these guys were not would are not distracted by the coin. So then what who
Such
would
an
the
odd
coin
use
distract
of
in the
colors, the
case
fabrics, the art.
of
All
Hitman? Let's
curated
see.
with so much love and care. It's okay.
Would it distract a police officer?
Okay.
Oh, interesting. So it did distract him. And he picked up the coin and now I lost, so I'm out of a coin. So it looks like the police officer would would be distracted by the coin. Um, let's see what would happen to like one of the deckhands.
What?
Okay, so that guy seemed to be distracted by it. So pretty much this is exactly what I was trying to replicate. The, and you've seen in my case the enemy got, it wasn't since there's only enemies. There's not like um, the friendly NPCs in those dangerous areas in my project. They do get distracted by when I throw an item, like in my case, like a stone or something. So I throw that and they do get distracted. But yeah, so I was talking about something that I wanted to try is when you're in like a hiding spot like this. Okay, yeah, I understood. And this is interesting. Like you can hide a body inside of this, but I guess you can only hide one of them, or and then you can still hide inside of it. But if you put two, then you won't be able to hide in it. Now, the one thing that I was trying to see, yeah, so it doesn't look like you can, it doesn't look like you can throw a distractor, and um, when you're inside the one of these hiding spots, so you can only like, hide and then look, which kind of let's actually take this as a disguise, which is a little bit, you know, um, I kind of find I would find it interesting to be able to throw a distractor when you're hiding, right? Um, so let me stash him away like that. And so I think I still have a coin, and I do have some lockpicks. And let's see who else might be affected. So for example, this guy. This guy
Hello
would not
there.
allow you. Let me actually change back into the other outfit, because with the other outfit you're not able to climb to the top deck, which is where the mission is. So let's change into the mechanic, because I wanted to try and see if I can distract the police officer and then um, go up using this
I'm
outfit.
sorry. Guess you didn't see me
So
pull
let's
that
see, like
trigger.
right now, I'm just gonna crank this up a little bit. So
Hello?
right now,
This is not the goddamn hangar, son. We can't have any grease monkeys tinkering about here, okay?
so if I try to go up,
Hey, buddy, look. I'm sorry. This area's closed.
I think he's
Get
gonna
here in
raise
good
the
time,
alarm.
sir. Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you.
So let's see if I can distract him with a coin.
There's a hefty fine for littering, mister.
Okay, this is why I like this game so much. Like the AI is so good. I threw a coin and there's like, oh, there's a heavy fine for like littering. Um, but that was because he can see me. So let's see, he's still paying attention to me. And I'm wondering if I'm just gonna be outside of his view, like somewhere back here. Okay, so he's not seeing me, but let's see if I'm gonna throw, if it's still gonna say, hey, no littering. That was pretty good. And so there he goes. So I was out of his sight, and but it's interesting, he did not, so it shows me as trespassing, but I did not raise his attention, you know?
Hey, you.
It's
This
just
is a
these guys
restricted
that are
area.
like patrolling around here. But the police
Just
officer
follow me,
was
okay?
was distracted by that. So now I'm kind of being shown
Glad we cleared that up.
shown the
You can
door
go.
in a way. Excuse me. But yeah, the like I said, the mechanics for like stealth in this was a really big inspiration, uh, and for myself at least, with especially for the hiding, because the hiding works pretty much similar to my project. So I was talking about the locker. So let's see. I know there was a locker back here somewhere. So I'll show you how that one works over here. So there's the locker. And the only difference is that this one has kind of a swing back and forth for the doors. You know, mine was a little bit simpler where you can just like look through these like slots, these openings, and but then it's pretty much the same where you can like leave or enter. But that's one thing that I was trying to test and see was that can you throw a distractor when uh, uh, when you're inside of the hiding area? Yeah, and Alien Isolation, I saw some of those, and I think it even has more with I don't think I've tried it to see if in um, in Hitman if you can hide under a table, you know. Let's see if we can find a table. I think they're gonna be, let's see, are they gonna be
Hey, Mr.
suspicious?
Mechanic, how are you?
Okay,
Great,
so
by the way.
they're not suspicious if I go through here. So I can go back um into that kitchen. Where was it? I think it was this way somewhere. And get the outfit for the yacht crew. And I want to try and find a table to see, can you hide under a table? Or I think what was the videos I saw in Alien Isolation? Was it a table or like a stretcher or something? Also, the other difference
Who's here?
is that in this game, you know, there's a big emphasis on all the NPCs in the world. I think with Alien Isolation, there was only you and the alien. I don't know if I can't remember if there was anybody
Hey, I'm
else.
sorry, but I need you to leave, okay?
Okay, buddy, you can have a private bathroom. Let me see if yeah, there is no like space underneath type of place. Let me try and go upstairs to where the
Are you?
target is
Man of the sea. Respect.
and see if there might be one over here. Though, like I said, I've never seen like the only thing that uh, hi- you can
Oh,
use
that's
to
cute.
hide in here
The whole officer and a gentleman thing. Not gonna use
is
it again. Sorry, move on.
like
Should have jumped on the back of the
like
wagon.
spaces that are
Yes, what was that other thing you were
completely
trying to say?
closed, you
Movies
know,
on the
like
internet?
a locker or a box, and not something that, you know, a table you can still see under a table. That's one thing that I never really understood in Alien Isolation is like that guy can't see you under that thing. Um,
Yeah, crew.
so
Impressive.
Back already?
yeah, and
Slip
like I said,
back.
I don't think there
Eat your
is
food, why don't you?
um, something that you can hide under. So it's only you hide in something, you know, like in a locker that, you know, completely closed is closed and the enemy can't see inside of it. Let's see how they behave if you were to have if you were to hold an item. Okay, so they don't seem to care. Oh, interesting. So you can use a tool to uh to make this fall um onto like your target or something like that. Oh, that's pretty cool. Nice. I'll have to check that out because you know it's interesting to see some of these mechanics that different video games use. You know, especially with Hitman. You know, besides like the game, I think it's you know, from a realism standpoint, it's probably one of the, for me, you know, like I said, I haven't played a lot of video games. I'm kind of sticking to just a few, but from a realism standpoint, it it's one of the best. This one and actually I think Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 was really well done, I thought, like environment wise. Um, but yeah, with this one, I definitely like all the mechanics that they implement, you know, with
You know, we should get like a notebook and write
uh
all that funny stuff down.
and another
So we
interesting
can pass it
thing,
on when it's all done.
like um
What? Yeah. Just
and
the usual, you know.
again a reason why I like checking these out,
Get that
you know,
straight.
if you look at
Just
the
keep talking
detection,
about what you want.
Sorry, sailor. You're not coming through here. Sail away, sail away, sail
so
away.
let me see where the hopefully there's somebody that's gonna like detect me, right?
Give me a break, Calvin.
This guy is a target.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So I wanted to see, um,
Who the hell are you?
okay,
Oh
so
man,
it's suspicious.
this guy is something. He's here, buddy. Well, you know him? Hey, shitbag. That's enough.
I think I might fail it.
That's it, man. You're a jerk.
That's it, you're a jerk. Because I wanted to show the detection thing in this. And
Yacht crew. I think
okay, yeah, 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 let's surrender.
look like an asshole to you? Someone help me. Some kind of idiot? Oh my god!
It's kind of interesting the combat. I don't really like these like cut sequence combat. So let's just start fresh. I wanted to take a look at the detection mechanism, like uh, the detection indicator, because I have the same kind
Welcome
of
back,
detection
Initiate. As
indicator,
an ICA
but
agent, every
um,
challenge you
this it
face
seems
will
like
come multiple ways.
Hitman, it's done a little bit differently. So I think by the way it looks, there's either like something around him, like a kind of an invisible circle or sphere, and it seems like on the surface of that is where the detection mechanism is at. So let's check it out. I'm gonna try and get into range with
You are
these
definitely
guys.
not coming through here. Please, move along. No,
Um,
buddy, you're not coming through here.
I'm
Sorry.
not entirely sure how you get it.
Move.
Oh yeah, I think that enforcer dude might be one that would be able to detect me. Is this guy also?
Hey, you can't be here.
Okay, so he's
Man,
not
you're in
doing
all sorts
anything.
of trouble. I'm getting help.
Okay, dude, come back here. All right, so let me go to this area here. Oh yeah, so there you go. This is what I wanted to look at. And so as you can see, it seems like it's it's rotating right around him in a way. As you can see, it feels like, yeah, it's like a circle around him that has these and this arrow rotates around him. So, or you know, kind of pointing to whoever's detecting him. So if these guys were here, like see how that is done? That's actually kind of an interesting method. So right around his hips, I think that's where that circle is, and the decal or whatever the material is with the indicator is, oops, I'm gonna be escorted out, um, is applied. So that's a pretty cool
All right,
mechanic.
follow me.
The only thing with that is if you're like moving the camera, so it's not a, I don't think it's a UI type, it's not a UI, I think it's like a physical thing. Um, so the only thing with that is that if it's at a certain angle,
You need to come with me.
you might not be able to see it. I mean, this is a third person, so you're looking from the top. Um,
Not another.
okay, so I think I'm compromised.
I'm gonna bring you down, pal.
And now they want to fight. All right, so let's start it over, and we'll take one more look at that.
Well,
And I think these guys are gonna, they're either gonna, they're not gonna let me in, and if I do go in,
Where
they're
do you think
just
you're going?
gonna get a, they've already detected me.
You can't be here.
So there is that, and I've seen this in other games, I believe, where this detection mechanism is on, um, is not part of the UI. Like I think, for example, Far Cry, I think that's part of the UI because it shows up and it points, it shows right where I think your ammo wheel is, and it just rotates towards where the threat is coming from. I think with, let me get rid of this guy. But I think with from what it looks like with Hitman, and I think it's applied nicely, especially with a 3D uh, person, 3D third-person view, right? Where see it's like right there, but like the only thing is like if you go to about here, you can still see it, but so yeah, there. So this is what I think. I think like I said, I think it's just something that is placed around the character. Oh, and they found the body. Huh. Like I said, I don't think that is UI. I definitely like the way it's done, but
Hey, don't do.
who found the body? Oh yeah,
Okay,
the
get a
police.
grip. What was that? What did that person do to you? Yeah.
It's interesting, like the combat itself. I've seen this like somewhere else, but I can't remember where. Like this type of combat where it's not. I mean, it is sort of dynamic, but you know, it's just these. I'm not sure they call it like cut events or. So the first hit is always Q, but then it just follows up um, with the various hits. And it seems like this guy loves punishment. I think he might be out. This is kind of I've played this. Oh, there you go. So you can like knock him out. I never actually got around to disguised as Yak like security in this one.
We have a security breach, but don't worry, the pros are here.
Excuse me,
Watch
sir,
and learn.
but you know what's going on here?
Stop right there, buddy.
Are they suspicious or what's their mood right now? Okay, so they're.
Knocking people out? What
Oh,
the
okay.
hell?
I think they spotted me.
Freeze, right there.
And this is why the AI in
Being
this
nice right now.
in this is like
Second warnings.
so cool. Like
All right,
they
Toro. You see Midnight Express?
they definitely put a lot of work into it. Into how this one is done, especially like with these enemies that they detect you, and they already have a suspicions about you because there was
welcome
something
back,
that happened in
Initiate.
your vicinity. Um, so that's I did uh, yeah, I love the way the AI is implemented in this. I think it's out of like all the games that I've played, it's probably like the most complex AI, and especially taking into account like all the NPCs and um, uh, the enemies, like your targets as well, and the different behaviors depending on, you know, they go into lockdown and then it all changes into like a more alert. even more attentive type of NPCs, right? So yeah. Oh yeah, it was probably like a ton of work just to do it. And I mean that's why, you know, it's similar to Far Cry, similar to Crisis, similar, you know, to this Hitman, right? They implement a mechanic like this, and then they can use it and reuse it. And to some extent, that's also what I'm trying to do with my project. You know, like implement all these mechanics, then I can like replicate and use in other projects in the future. But but yeah, you know, seeing how some of the AI is handled, and in some of these games definitely helps you at least trying to think of how to implement the mechanics. You know, hiding, this was a simple thing to do, you know, hiding in a closet, you know, and you know, the enemies ignoring you. The same goes for disguising, you know, like if you wear a disguise, that's also something easy to do, and you know, set it so that the enemies ignore you. What's difficult, I think, is doing all this kind of suspicion behavior. I'm not sure whatever they call it, but um, you know, how they become suspicious of you, like these guys.
Sir, you can't go through here. Please
You
turn
know, like
around.
let's see if
Now,
I'm gonna
you
walk
said you
away.
can't be here.
You know, he's like, yeah, you can't be here. Let me try and
Where do you think you're going? You're not coming through here.
I want to see if
I
I can
suggest
do
you
this
do what you're told and turn around.
a couple of times. You know, so they're like kind of throwing me out. You know, they're like, go around. I'm trying to go away.
Sir, you can't go through here. Please
So I
turn
think
around.
this is kind of a default. It doesn't really, they're not triggered at this moment, just by me kind of going back and forth. But let's see if
I'm gonna have to
yeah, so
ask you.
see?
Good, sir. Keep walking.
All right,
Nothing
so
to
now
see
you're
here.
kind of found trespassing. So, like, it's nice that on the left it tells you what they're doing. But now let's see if I go back, you know, like it went out of
Where do you
that
think you're
state.
going? You're not coming through here.
Okay, so they
Sir,
fall
you
back.
heard him. You can't be here.
They fall back to, it seems like they do fall back to their original state. Like here, they get a little bit
Can't
anxious
be. Glad we speak the same language,
and they
sir.
go into searching.
My job's so much easier.
And if I walk away, you know, let's see, do they? Okay, so they're back to their, and they fall back to their default behavior.
Sir, you can't go through here. Please turn
All right,
around.
so they tell you again, you know, you can't go
How?
through here.
He said you can't be here.
Hey, beat it now.
All right, so let me sit here for a little bit and see
You
what
are
they do.
coming with me.
Okay,
Show
so
me
now
your
you're like
hands.
kind of arrested.
Kick the shit out of
Oh,
him.
and it's kind of, I don't know why it goes right into combat mode. You know, with the fake surrender. I was kind of thinking it would they would like take you away from the area and then like revert back um to their default state, but it seems like um it just goes straight into combat.
Welcome back.
And the other thing I wonder about is if um if these guys would be distracted by a coin. Apparently I can't go down there. I was wondering if I was to, for them not to see, to not be able to see me, and then throw the coin, are they gonna be distracted by it? Let's see.
Really?
That was interesting. I did not like, cause they, well, that guy can see me, I think. So he's like watching me. Okay, so he's watching. He's not watching me now. Let's see if I throw this. Huh. That was interesting because the other cop above, I was able to distract him with the coin, but these guys, So right now they can't see me. I'm not sure what they. I'm not sure about that guy. Like that's right in front of me. Yeah. So they all the time they like.
Sorry, this access point is restricted. I can't let you through.
I was able to distract this guy.
That was today's excitement.
So it seems some of them are set up so that they do not leave their post unless they probably pass a certain threshold. So they're not, let's call it distractible, right? You can't like distract them with a coin or items like that. But if they do go over a certain level, like in this case, trespassing,
Hey, pal, you can't be here.
right? Um, so they're
Sir, look, I've asked you politely, okay?
all right.
You can't be here.
It's been a few seconds. Let's say 10 seconds now.
Look, beat it now.
They're trying to get you to leave. Let's see, does it change? Okay, yeah, so it does change eventually into a, oh well, you know, it goes from
Welcome
like
back, Initiate.
bad to
As
really
an
bad.
RCA agent,
You know, with the other ones, it was more, you still had that trespassing kind of level. It seems like with these ones, well, at least with some of them, they, like, let's go, let's just look at the trespassing part of this. So I'm just gonna try and do the same thing as before, try and take this guy down. And okay, so I guess I gotta do the subdue, which is also an interesting mechanic. Like you can do both snap neck or subdue. So let's disguise. And I wanted to look at that in force subdue, like the.
Hey, what's up?
So this guy here, like this guy would detect you, but I'm not entirely sure how far he's gonna go into. Let's see. And it's also interesting, and I've noticed this in my project as well when setting up the AI and the detection mechanism is especially when it comes to sight, right? You would think that at this point right here, he'd be able to see you, like, but so I'm like right up next to him, and I was trying this. I wanted to try this out and compare it to my project, because I was like right up next to the enemy. It wasn't patrolling, so in my project, the enemy was just standing there like guarding, and I was up next to him like this, and even though I had a 90 degrees angle of vision, it wasn't able to detect me. So I just had to like step another foot into it, and like let's see, with this guy, you can see like
Ah, my poor
it's
you
only
kid.
when I like interact or like actually walk up into him uh, that it gets you know, that it detects you. So let's see about this guy. So
Do I know
here
you?
he's in that searching state, or
Hey,
like
excuse me. I'm talking to you.
it's a searching state for him at the moment. Apparently for
Hey,
these guys as
you're
well.
ignoring me. I know you are.
So now hopefully you guys can hear what these guys are saying. Okay, so it goes into
I'm a
compromised.
mechanic, my friend.
As
This
you
is
can
no
see, like
goddamn dress-up
these
party.
guys have a
Can
lower
someone help me with this guy? He's being a
setup.
total dick.
See if we can be a nice.
Oh, what are you?
No! You sick little man. I need help! You just killed that person?
I didn't kill him, all right. Okay, so now it goes into hunted. So first, so these guys were, I'm actually wondering, I
Stand still,
wanted to
sir. Do
see,
not move a muscle.
um,
Get your fucking hands where I
all
can
right,
see
so
them.
yeah, let's
Tough
do a
now,
fake
are you,
surrender.
buddy, huh? Ready, kung fu. Don't hiding below deck.
Okay, so it goes into combat directly. All right, let's try it again. I wanted to see where that guy is going to. Like,
welcome
he
back,
goes
Initiate.
into,
As
um, initially he sees you, he's like, okay, buddy, you gotta surrender. Um, and I wanted to see, where is he going to report you to one of the cops, or which one of the NPCs is he going to? Let's try that out.
Come on!
And this is new. I have not seen this one yet. The unconscious witness. Oh, because they saw you. This is interesting. So I'll just leave it here. I'm kind of wondering if he's found, because I think they eventually get up, though I haven't spent too much time in a mission to see if they eventually get up. And are they gonna do the same thing to report you, and then they know your face? So let's try and get this guy to see me, to recognize me again.
Hey, don't push. Who are you again?
All right, so it
This
goes into
guy's one of your
suspicious.
friends. You better deal with him right now. Hey, you're gonna get in trouble.
I love how it's using all the
That's
dialogues.
enough.
Okay. All right, crime noticed. Let's
This
see,
job is serious business, man. No room
Okay.
for fakers and wannabes.
Who do you think you are in that ridiculous outfit?
I'm getting the guards. You're
Okay,
toast,
so he's
man.
going to the guards. Okay, let's see.
Stop that, please.
Fabulous, isn't it? Oh, it's such an eye for detail.
Aren't you supposed to be on duty? Hey, look, we've got a crazy guy.
Who's he talking to?
Definitely imposter.
Do we know the identity of the unsub?
He was
Oh
in
yeah,
rubber
there we go.
uniforms.
Guys, there he is. Get him.
So now it goes into hunted,
Jesus, give a guy a break.
which is
Won't ya?
pretty cool, and definitely doable. It's the I mean, yeah, it's complicated for sure, like the mechanics, but I think it's definitely doable. It's just managing all the types
If you don't get
of
this now, the next. Hey, look at me. Just do as I say. Let's go. Someone go for dirt. Come on, we got trouble. Central, do you copy? I'm at the location now, and I have nothing to report. Over. Whoa!
All right, so I'm already wearing the disguise, so I can't
What the hell do you think you're doing? It's below deck.
so unfortunately everybody is dressed the same way around here. Oh yeah, but there he goes. So similarly to how I have it in my project, like the NPCs can open doors when they walk up to them, right? It would just like swing open, and they'd be able to go through the door. So that's easily, that's pretty easy to set up. The main thing is with all the types of NPCs in a game like this. You got all uh, the ones that would do actions like these cops. The ones that would report things, like I think everybody else has a basic of. I haven't tried with the regular NPCs, not the dude. So let's try that out. I want to see if any of those would eventually try and report
Welcome back.
you, like and by that I mean, let's actually try with this guy that I always end up knocking out. So for example,
Excuse me.
okay,
this is
he
a
found me
private area.
trespassing.
Oh, just you wait, mister.
Okay, who are you going to report this to? Is he reporting it to one of the guards? I
It
think
might have
so.
escaped your notice, but there are bad things going on. Sorry, sir. Really can't let you through here.
Okay, but that was pretty innocuous. Nothing really happened. It just reported me that I was trespassing.
Man,
But with that said, Ah, interesting. I can't unlock the door anymore. So I am trespassing, I know that.
No way. Hey, can't we...
So I think this guy might also be kind of the same level as that enforcer dude. But outside of that enforcer guy, I'm wondering if any, um,
How you doing?
like
You do
this
that
guy,
again, and I'll hurt you.
he's not gonna, he kind of threatens you, but let's
Hey,
see.
mister. Who are you?
Okay, so he becomes suspicious as well, but I wanna see what happens after
Don't
the
move a muscle,
suspicious
buddy.
level. All right, so he's threatening you.
Hey, asshole.
Oh, so he kind of called the other guys, and the guy in the middle, that's the one that's
You
kind of
brought
the
this on
reporter.
yourself, mister. You're in trouble.
Oh, so I guess it's not just that one. They can all go about and report me.
Okay, I don't know where you're from, man, but that's not the way we do it here, okay?
And that was the interesting difference. So let's play this one more time. I just wanted uh
Look.
to look at something, and because it seems like let's go the same route because this is like the easiest one. You know, so subdue this guy, then disguise.
Hey, how are you?
So as you can see, like, and I played this, uh, you know, before when I installed it last night, and they did describe this guy, the guy that has like the circle on his head, that as being as an enforcer. So these guys would ignore you, apparently. They're definitely seems like they're a lower level, and they would ignore you. Hey Andre, welcome. Well, this is actually Hitman. I was just showing it. Um, Actually, I haven't closed my game, so I can show you my game as well, the one that I'm working on. But I jumped into Hitman just to show and do a little bit of analysis on like the AI in here, because I'm using some elements out of Hitman, and especially when it comes to hiding. So I just wanted to jump in here and show some of the AI of the NPCs. So one thing that I was discussing was, there's like different levels of AI in this level. And again, I'm talking as a, non-expert. I don't work in the industry, but just from my experience. So what it looks like um, is this guy is a lower level than that guy. He's only becoming irritated, I would say, like I think he's being switched to a higher level once you're like in his space, right? So I'm like here,
Watch where you're going.
right? So he gets irritated, and you'll see like the little as I stand in his space. Let's see, for how long do I need
What are you,
to
blind?
stay here before he gets
Hey, no need to be rude, mister.
all right, I'm not rude.
Really nice, man.
So there you go. So
I'm
now
not really sure I've seen you
now
before.
he becomes suspicious, and I think for whatever reason, it looks like it notified the other dudes around him. So now they're like in that
Final
suspicious
warning.
state
I'll kick you. Take a walk. And don't come
until
back.
you walk away. The one thing that I'm not entirely sure is what happens when you go back. Let's see. So now it's back into their normal state. Okay, so they reverted back to their normal state. But so these guys would ignore you if you like kind of staying away from them, but this guy would actually, let's see. So see, he
Who are you
detected.
again?
It's like the detection mechanism happened, and they're like,
You need
okay,
to pay attention here.
what's going on with this guy? And they're gonna start following you around.
Hey!
So yeah, that's I just wanted to see if kind of look and do an analysis of some of these mechanics as how I see them, like what I would do to maybe implement something like this. And again, it's just coming out of my experience. So if that seems like interesting, like looking at some of these gameplay mechanics, we can definitely do it for some other games, at least the ones that I have in my Steam library. Maybe like a mechanic in Far Cry or something like that. But Andre, if you're still around, let's I'm just gonna exit this, and I can show you a little bit of my game if you're interested. So, um, yeah, this is back in Unreal, and currently this is how the world is set up. Um, and Unfortunately, yeah, it runs a little bit slow right now because I'm also running, uh, Hitman, and but yeah. So let's see, Matt, welcome, welcome. So let's jump into game mode real quick, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I've just done today, um, to uh, for like the game mechanic that I've just put in place. I was showing it a little bit earlier in the stream. Um, oh, actually, let me move the start point, and let me exit out of this. I'm not entirely sure how well this works with this one running as well. Um, it's interesting that they've put um, the quit game under options. Hmm. Okay, well, so let's start here. So what I wanted to show is in um, in one of the missions, what you will need to do is gain entry to this dam interior. So the dam interior is for the new folks that never seen this. It would be kind of around here, through here. There's like a little bit of a missing connection between these, but it would be basically down through here. This would be like a multi-level type of dam, um, and it's got like where would it be? The main turbine room. I got lost. So I'm sorry. Let's see, where is it? Where did I put it? Man, how do I get lost in my own map? It's gotten so big that it's a little much. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's like right here. This would be where like the utility room would be at with the turbines for the dam. Do you use a plugin for the environment? I do not. It's just an environment that's built out of a number of packages from the marketplace, a number of assets that I've created. Um, the map itself started with a height map that was off of the marketplace. Again, most of the things that you see are free for the month type of stuff. So very few of um, anything that and I can show you the rest of the world. Um, but um, but yeah, most of them, like I said, come from like free for the month assets, or like 70% off discounted at certain times. Yeah, so it did take a long time. I mean, or um, I started with Unreal in 2018. So yeah, let's call it 7 years, right? But um, most of it was also involved in like the learning curve, because like the name of the stream, it's On Your Own. That's the name of the video game, On Your Own. And I literally work on this by myself. So, implementing the mechanics, building the world, lighting, the 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 game story, the that one also. And if you're interested, let me I can kind of give you the details on the game itself as well, along with showing you some of the mechanics. But yeah, this is something that I was working on today. So basically, you would gain entry to this. You would need to get entry to this dam, and this is kind of just the top of the dam. And you have a couple of options to do that. Is either through this more direct approach, which would be, you're going to start the game from this area here, and so once you get through here, like it would be, these yellow tarps would indicate access points in a way. So you'd like crawl through here, then avoid a couple of the enemies that are patrolling around this area. Then the entrance would be down through here, in this corridor. What I was playing with earlier, and that's why I jumped into Hitman, is the hide mechanics. Like being able to hide in a locker, let the enemy pass by you, and then take them out. So yeah, you would be able to follow this corridor down through here. Then up the stairs. Uh, I I don't want to get anybody to be dizzy. And then up through here and inside of this is a little bit of a messy area, but yeah, inside of this dam and down through here is where kind of just some workers' quarters would be, and one level below this is where the entrance to that utility room is. So this is the dam, and the game itself, just to give you an idea of what it is, you come into this world with um, with a plane, because it's been used in many other games, and I couldn't find a better idea um, as to what you would be coming into. Um, so, Matt, are you worried about copyright? And what copyright are you referring to? Like in terms of the storyline or in terms of the assets being used? Um, yeah, so as I was saying, the delivery vehicle is a plane. That's how you start the game. Oh, with the meshes. So no, because since they're all, if you're familiar with Unreal and the Unreal Marketplace, what they have, and I can show you real quick. Um, let's go to Fab. So what they have every month is they have this limited time free. So these are literally like 100% discount on some of these monthly free assets. Um, Previous to Fab, when they had their old marketplace, there used to be like 4 of them every month, and now I guess they made it 3. But you can still get some really awesome packages, with the free stuff. So this is like you would buy it, but you'd buy it at 100% discount, basically. So that's how those work. So that's why I'm not worried about copyright. I would be worried about copyright if I was to cut maybe a mesh out of Far Cry or Hitman. I know there's a way. I'm not entirely sure how, but you would be able to go into somehow export the mesh from the engine. And I've actually seen some on the marketplace that seem a little bit um, very much out of Hunt, like Hunt the Showdown. But no, like for these ones, I'm not worried about that. I mean, um, if Epic would come out to me and say, well, you know what, unfortunately, actually, these free meshes, you're not allowed to use them in a commercial project, then I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm glad you tell me this, but that's not how you specify the license, you know, when you put these out." And they would not put him out um, if you wouldn't be able to use him. I mean, why have sales, for example, right? Or why put him out for free? Yeah, so as far as the story goes, I was saying that you start the game with coming into this world in a plane, right? So the reason you're here, you're trying to find a couple of your friends that you haven't heard from in a while. So um, you're like kind of flying over the area just to kind of scope it out. And so you fly along. You can see this line down here. This is just a controlled flight, so to speak. You don't like fly the airplane. So you fly over this area, and you're actually getting shot at. Once you fly over this factory, which is kind of the bad guys' headquarters, so to speak. And so you take damage to the airplane and you start crashing, kind of like a controlled crash. So you keep following this spline, and along the spline there'll be like 3 points where you can jump out of the airplane, and that's where you start the game from. And depending on the jump point that you choose, um, the initial missions are going to be slightly different. And eventually they're all going to join into the single thread. Um, but at least for the demo, the fall point is going to happen like right in this area. So all these areas that you're going to fall into, they're going to be pretty much contained. Like there'll be. I'm not sure why it's running pretty slow at the moment. It was running much better earlier. I'm also running a really old 1070, so you know, bear with me. But whenever you fall into one of these areas, these are, they're kind of a funnel type of thing, right? So you can see like back here, you're kind of closed off. You can't go anywhere. But so that's why you're going to be funneled towards this way. And in the first mission is where you'll have to, as you exit from this area, you'll see this guy that's being taken hostage, and that's the first guy you're going to have to be rescuing, and he's going to give you your first mission for this fall point. And from there on out, you're going to start completing missions, and you're going to gain access into the town. So the town is going to be here, and the bad guys have divided the town into four zones, four quadrants, so to speak. And you'll be able to travel between these areas either by, like zip line, and this is a back and forth zip line, so it's not like you just slide down and you can't come back up. You got to climb up. So you'd be able to go to this zone, interact with some NPCs, then come back to the other zones. So completing some of the missions for the NPCs will help you get more details about where your friends are at. Um, and that's kind of how the game goes. Hopefully that sounds interesting. Have you considered using templates like Advanced Locomotion 6? I'm actually using ALS. Yes, I am. And Um, I actually haven't jumped into game mode to show you anything. I was just like flying around. So yeah, let's jump into game mode, and I'll show you what I was doing for this first mission. And I think I can also do like a little bit of showing you how the bow works, for like combat and stuff. So let me do the bow as well, because there's an enemy here, so we can take them out. and there's another enemy inside of the dam in that corridor, so we can do a stealth takedown for that guy. We'll test out the hiding mechanism again. All right, so let's do the bow, and let's do a couple of arrows that you can pick up. All right, so there's 1 and 2. All right, so let me see where the start point. So the start point is here, and let's play. So this way you get a little bit of an idea of the mechanics as well. Um, you are able to drive some just basic vehicles. Right now there's only one. Oops, I thought I moved the, I guess I didn't. My bad. All right, so where is the, here it is. But yeah, that's basically how I started when it came to the with the ALS template, and you know, use that, expanded on it, you know, and I'll show you some of the expansions. I would say, you know, kind of you know, being able to drive, and but yeah, let's go underneath this. Let's see where this guy is at. Okay. And he still sees me. Let's let him walk away. Yeah, so this is something I was showing earlier. Where is he? I think he walked away. Let me get the. Ah, damn it! I forgot. Oh, my bad. Let me jump out of the game real quick. There is a little bit of a. I'm not entirely sure why it happens, but I have a mechanic where the player detects, or like if it has a weapon, it detects if it collides with a wall or something, so you can like do like a little bit of a pullback with your arm so you don't go through the wall. But in the editor, that mechanism collides with the procedural foliage volumes for whatever reason. So I wasn't able to figure out. So I usually just lift them out of the way. So that way, hopefully we'll not have that issue. All right, so let's go ahead and get under the fence here. Let's see where that guy, okay, so here is right there. Okay, so he's going out to patrol. Let's see if I can pick up this bow. And I am really not entirely sure what's going on here. Uh, that is some odd stuff. Huh, I'm not sure what happened to the camera. I think it might have been after coming out of this spot here. But I'll jump into my test level and I can show it to you a little bit better there. You know, there's like some some other weapons as well. But let me show you the stuff that we've done during this earlier in the stream. Yeah, so let's go down through here. Kind of wait for this guy to go away. So the detection is just distance based. Let me just go full screen here. Yeah, I can definitely show that to you. Let me just go back here and so basically this is kind of the stealth takedown. It's literally um, just a takedown, takedown. You know, it's not like subdue or anything like that. There's an issue with this road. I'm not sure where exactly it's coming. Is it coming from? All right, so let's go into the dam. Hopefully the audio is coming in okay as well. I think I have that turned on. So, yeah, the other thing that I've implemented is this thing where you, when you enter from outside, the outside noise kind of decreases as you go inside, and then the inside noise takes over. But let me show you what I was talking about earlier when it came to kind of trying to trick or distract the enemy, which has like the sight of a eagle. So for example, you are here, and so let's try and, so there he is. So for example, I'm gonna throw like a distractor item. So that makes a noise, and I'm gonna try and hide in the closet here. So what would happen, and that's why I'll show you in the test level. Um, it, when you and I'm not entirely sure why it happens here, because in the test level it works fine. Uh, the enemy would not be able to will come and investigate the item you throw. You know, like in Hitman that I was showing you with the coin, it would come and investigate it, and then at that point you'd be able to come out of the locker and then take out that enemy. But I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't work in here. So let me show Julius the bridge model, and I'll jump into my test level because that one is a little bit easier to show you things. It loads a lot faster. You know, there's a lot more less things to do. How did you make the AI? I'm making a small game and can't get my hand. So what I'm using for AI is behavior trees. For me, it was easier to understand and easier to manage. Um, and if you're interested, I follow the tutorial series from Ryan Laley, and I'm not sure if you've ever seen his channel, but I think he's got a better. There's also a lot of other people out there. He's got like a shorter format videos, so I think they're easier to follow, where he goes over behavior trees, you know, so uh, that's how I've set up my AI, and I'll show you a little bit more in the test level. But Julius, the bridge model, it looks like this. So there it is. I've actually took inspiration from and I think from Sketchfab. I've had this for a while now. I'm actually not because I have a list of things that I use from Sketchfab that I need to add them to my credits, you know, so to give credit to those items that I use from there. I think this might be one of them, but yeah. Um, oh yeah, so this one inclined to say it's from Sketchfab. I've had it for a while. Um, you know, you can make a larger bridge from two pieces of that. Do you mean from this one, or I'm not sure I follow. Oh, so I said Sketchfab, not Fab. It's interesting how they chose the name. But on Sketchfab, I think there's quite a few bridge models, and they also have um, the same the same type of license, you know, uh, where where um, give credit to the author. Uh, yeah, I think this one could be made into a larger bridge if that's what you're saying, or like if you're asking, like you would be able to. I think this is the type of bridge that you would see made like this for sure. Oh, okay. So I'm not in, like I said, I use a number of models from Sketchfab, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, oh, I get you what you're saying. But yeah, for a larger river, definitely like this, like use this and then just duplicate it, and it would, I think uh, you can do it a bunch of times because the structure itself, I think, would be very well. Like I've seen at least in the States, a number of bridges with this kind of structure. So yeah, very solid. I'm far from any kind of, architectural type of knowledge, but I could see this. All right, so let's go into the oh yeah, if you have a larger river, then totally, totally, you can use it. Let me not save these ones, but I'm gonna save where the player start is at. So Matt, yeah, let me show you how some of the mechanics, the combat mechanics, also the hiding mechanics works. And yeah, let's get to that. Oh no, I loaded the main level again. Oh my God, I thought I was loading my test level. My apologies. So bear with me for a little bit here. This takes a little bit longer. So I think the reason why the AI doesn't work properly is the nav mesh and something in the level interfering. Oh, I see. Um, well, I mean, um, if um, if you need any help, there should be a Discord link to this project's Discord server. And if you're also using behavior trees, I can probably like jump on a call real quick um, and see if I can see something, you know. Come on, I thought it loaded. Okay, so yeah, loaded back in. Okay, so let's pay attention now and reload the test level. And also, like the way I'm doing the AI is with navigation invokers. So on the player, you set up a navigation invoker. So only AI within that area of that navigation invoker are ticking. They're like actually doing something. Um, yeah. Oh yeah. I think you were probably right. I think there's either some collision or something like that in there. So, but let me show you how that should work. All right, so let's jump into game. Yeah, much quicker here. But let's see where the enemy is at. All right, so there he is. So what you would do, like kind of go in here and hide. And, so the text changes to exit properly. There's something in that area. I'm not sure that it kind of interferes with it. Okay, so there he goes. So I can like come out of there and then do this, right? I need to do something about the exit label still being there. All right, let's do. Let me show you a little bit of the zip line thing. Let me see. Okay, so that's like a kind of a area where I take damage. The zip line is up there, but I don't have. Maybe. Let's see. Can I go through this? Oh yeah, I don't have a top exit there. So let me show you kind of how the zip line, to travel between the buildings works. And we'll do a little bit on the weapons as well. Oh, I thought, yeah, no, I was sorry. I was thinking that you were you meant like the AI in your project. All right, so let me do a couple of things here that you can climb on. Um, and what I'll do is I'll actually take out the enemy first. So let me show you how the behavior with the bow works. Oops, that guy saw me. So this is kind of how the targeting is, like on the bow itself. He's going a little nuts right now. He's trying to find you. But yeah, on the bow, you'll see like that little line on the crosshair is going, um, starts at the bottom. So that's kind of where you're aiming, but then it kind of tightens up. So you can, um, it can get, more exact as that gets tighter. But the more you keep that hold, held, it's the bow starts shaking around a little bit. Okay, so you've kind of fired the bow, and one thing that I wanted to show you is also, well, there you go. So there's the a little bit of the UI. So you have the option to use like a standard HUD like this, or an actual device like a 3D item, but that would like you would unequip the weapon, so and you would equip that device, so it would like interrupt if there's any combat going on or anything like that. But with the device, what you can do is, if I can remember um, the menu, so you can use B to scroll from the mission to the inventory. Oh yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of like just a very simple type of thing. The more interesting one is this one. Like it would get scared of you, like you can just like fly away. Oops, I was in that zone. But here is here's for the menu. I also wanted to have a basic what was I gonna say? A basic crafting thing. Not not anything crazy, but basic. So for example, for you to be able to craft like arrows, because you're gonna have this silent weapon, right? But the arrows are like, you can lose them. Yeah, you can pick them off of the enemies, like this guy, I can pick off the arrow off of him. And the way I show uh, the ammo in the case of the bow is just the arrows on the side. So you can only carry like 3 at a time. Um, oh, Julius. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really happy that you enjoy this. It wouldn't be like I really enjoy this game development thing, and it wouldn't be uh I don't want to keep it for myself type of thing. Um, okay, so let's take a look at the crafting thing, Matt. So, as in other games, you'd be able to like search through trash cans, So there's like a couple of types of trash cans. One that is like this, you know, and you can like search through it.
More scraps.
And I'm not sure if you can also hear, like, I wanted to have like the player have a dialogue, you know. So whenever you search through this is like a timed interaction. Like for example, let's search through this way. So it kind of just some of them just toss the lid to the side, like this one didn't toss it too much. But then you can search through it,
Scraps. Good.
search through this some more.
Scraps.
Okay, and so on in the UI there on the left corner, you will see that it shows kind of the item, the requirements, and how many you have. I'm still working on that to make it look a little bit easier to read. But you can use, and this is like it doesn't interrupt the gameplay, you know. So you can use your uh, as you like fight someone or like do this, you can use like the mouse wheel to, for example, create another arrow, right? So it just spawns one right there, and you can pick it up and just add it to the bow. So now you got two arrows. Um, but then you would have to go through and find more scraps if you want to build more arrows. But then again, like I said, you can only carry three. That's how many you can put on the bow at one time. Um, now, there's also like the regular rifle, and with the rifle, oops, that's kind of interesting. There's still that arrow. Oh, the arrow is still attached to your hand. Okay, so I need to fix that. But with the rifle and the pistol. So you have a rifle and a pistol for the regular weapons, and this one has. And let me hide the menu. So this one has a counter on the side of the rifle to tell you how many bullets you got in the magazine. You can reload. So for example, you know, if I pick up this, okay, oh yeah, so this is the exact item. This is the mechanic I wanted to show you. When you are close to something, you're like, you know, the weapon gets pulled away, so it doesn't, you know, you can kind of see it here. So the rifle doesn't go through the wall, right? But once you're like above it, you know, it kind of turns to here. So, and you know, you got the regular type of you know, picking up items, or you know, like shooting the rifle type of mechanic. Of course, you know, if you can pick up things in the game. Like right now, if you look on the left, you'll see like the health is down, so you can like pick up some things that would like increase your health, like you know, edible stuff like bread or water. Um, let's see what else. There's a ton of like NPCs that you can interact in the game. I mean, a ton is saying a lot, but there's all these NPCs that you're gonna be able to. Right now, unfortunately, like there's some the materials got messed up, so you see like they like flash from like very shiny to different weird colors. So I still need to fix some of this. But you'd be able to interact with some of these guys, and if they have a mission for you, I'm not sure if none of these guys. I don't think these guys do. So yeah, see, this guy has. I got nothing for you at the moment, and it would just exit. So they're going to be like the interactable characters. And Matt, this is going to be a single player, because these are the types of game that I play. I don't play any multiplayer games. I only play single player games, you know, story-based single player games, and that's what I wanted to make. I think there's plenty of multiplayer games out there, and um, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there is like all these guys that you can interact with. Let's actually let me show you the rifle as well. I mean, it's nothing different. It's just your regular rifle mechanics. But when you interact with one of these guys, this is kind of how the menu goes, and he would give you the the missions. And man, the material uh, got really really broken. I've been exporting some of the metahumans, and I've been trying to like do a bunch of optimization and like removing some textures, removing some materials, but now they're all like with the same material. So yeah, I'm gonna need to fix that. But basically, this is how your interaction looks. I'm gonna be doing some work on improving the UI a little bit, but so um, you know, this is kind of how your first mission is gonna be. Like he's gonna need your help to rescue his wife that's being held hostage at the motel. I don't think I've shown you the motel in the main level, but um, so you can like say, okay, I'll help you out, and this should show up in here. It doesn't at the moment because I just need to clear out that save game file. And also right now I do have a somewhat basic save mechanism, but it does save most of the things that I need to. All right, so let's go up here and I wanted to show you how this is the zip line, and so you can like navigate the zip line back and forth, So I'm back at that place. For whatever reason, I'm like sitting up on some box. I don't really know why, but basically this is how you would interact with it. I still need to holster the weapon when you get on a zip line. So yeah, once you reach the end, you just like disconnect from the zip line. Um, and yeah, I was showing you a little bit earlier how the crawling looks. So this is pretty much it there. Let's see what else. So those zones in the game, they're safe zones. So this is basically uh, just a shrink an example of that. So in here, when you're in a safe zone, the enemy will not shoot at you. But yeah, these safe zones are between like all these fences that the town is separated in. Once you're outside of the safe zone, um, it's fair game. And since we're here with some of the NPCs, so there is like the interactable NPCs, and then there's just the kind of the crowd type of NPCs that they're just gonna be sitting there or like doing an activity, like going to sit somewhere, or so they're not gonna acknowledge your presence. Like these guys, for example, if you go up to them, you can see like he looks at you, he pays attention. Um, and these guys, while they would look at you, they they will not like you will not be able to interact with them. Like they don't have a dialogue. They would look at you and then they would ignore you. They would look away after a little bit. Um, so let's see what else. Um, in the game itself, and let me turn down the volume. There will be some enemies that you won't get past, like for example, and you won't be able to attack or destroy. These are just like blocker enemies, and I don't think that one's active though. So I wanted to show you because you know like in many of these games you have um, like if you've played like Far Cry 5 or Days Gone, which are big inspirations for me, the way they limit you from like leaving the map in Far Cry 5, there's like the tunnels that are collapsed, you know, and I think it's something similar in Days Gone. There's either like a collapsed tunnel or something in the tunnel. In my case, I wanted to have like one of these like military vehicles like blocking the tunnel so they would like start shooting at you when you approach it. So basically it would kind of work like this. Let's see. I'm just gonna go towards that military truck. Um, so basically, I'm gonna have these around areas where you shouldn't be able to access. So there you go. He's like actually firing at me right now, and then I'm died. And then I'm died. I'm alive. But and that's kind of how also you can see how the dying mechanism looks like. Um, So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, there's gonna be like the the being able to climb ladders, being able to climb on like certain rocks or certain surfaces. I was showing you this earlier with this. You'd be able to like, and then the regular just simple mantling. Not to like a parkour extent, but you could potentially do some crazy stuff. I haven't really tried too much. I mean, I've only tried like jumping from one thing to another, and if you kind of time it right, you should be able to like uh, jump across, right? Like I think I was playing with this one here, maybe, kind of jumping from one platform to another. Um, But yeah, Matt, this is kind of what it is. Hopefully it's something that you find interesting, as kind of the story mechanics type of thing. Let me see if I can. This guy is giving me a little bit of a hard time here. So yeah, what I was saying with let me try this with like if I was to jump from here to here. Oh, there you go. So it catches on to the ledge. It's a pretty cool mechanic. All right, so probably stupid questions, but how would you be able to calculate the amount of thirst based on on a simulated water bottle? So the water is fully simulated. Um, so you mean like I think I kind of understand. Oh, let me see if I understand it. So you would want to um basically the player would pick up the bottle of water and hold it up, and the longer you hold it up, the more the thirst is being quenched, right? Like it's, the thirst decreases, right? Let's say you have a stat, because I used to have the stat too. I just thought, it's not a survival game in that sense, so I don't really have use for it. Um, So you would have a, a bar showing how thirsty you are, and when that is or not necessarily how thirsty you are, but it would be full when you're like um, you don't have any thirst. As you play, that bar decreases. Like your level of water, the water in your system is down, and you got to replenish. And when you start drinking, that thing starts filling up. Is that what you were thinking of doing? And it's definitely not a stupid question. But yeah, let me know if what I was saying was made sense. Well, yeah, I mean, let's say that bar is at 60%, right? So you got like 60% of water left in you. Um, and but I'm guessing I mean I'm not in I don't think I follow it fully. Um, because I mean, time or volume, in a simulation would be pretty similar, right? Um, like you would find, for example, you hold like 2 liters worth of water, right? Or I think, I don't know, the human body's like a gallon I can't remember how much. But so for example, you have to replenish. You play the game, you start the game with let's call it a liter, like then just kind of a easy measurement, right? So you start with a liter of water, and as you play, you go down to half a liter. I mean, I'm not sure if you're from the States, then let's call it quart or a gallon, right? I'm not sure what to use better to for like everybody to understand. I think a liter is somewhat universal. So you're down to half a liter, then you pick up a bottle that's, you know, a quarter of a liter, and you drink it. Then it's just math, right? Um, I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully I understood it right. But is that what you were thinking? I'm just guessing here, or not guessing, but I'm trying to make sense. Because I mean, that's at least that's the way I would see it, right? Um, if it's you start with a liter, you go down to half a liter. Um, let's actually make it a kind of a bigger number, right? Let's say, 4 liters, almost a gallon. So 4 liters. Okay, perfect. Oh, and I like. Are you from the UK or Canada? Because you spell litres, which I've seen it. I think I've seen it in the UK spelled that way. Australia maybe too. But um, so let's say you started with 4 liters, and then you play, maybe 10 minutes in, that thing goes down to 2, and you pick up a bottle that's 1. Once you consume it, it would just go up to 3. Um, Hey, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you. Anyway, it's happy to see people from other places. I usually stream at like 1 p.m. Eastern, like US Eastern. So I'm not entirely sure how many people I get from anywhere. And so that's why today some of my plans got canceled. So I thought, okay, I'll do a stream. There's a little bit, a few things to show. Maybe we'll look at Hitman for a little bit because it's a game that I really like. So, but and yeah, I've been going for like 3 hours. I don't think I've ever gone for 3 hours on this. So, um, but but kind of my explanation on the volume, does that make sense? Or at least is that what you're thinking of trying to do? And then of course you can kind of couple that with time. Like for example, you have a rate of consumption, right? So you um, uh, because the way I would do it, for example, so you start with 4 liters worth of water. You play, I'm not entirely sure how you're gonna figure out the consumption, or like, is that gonna be time based, or, but let's say you're down to 2 liters, um, and you pick up a bottle that's 1 liter. You start drinking it, depending if it's I think it doesn't really matter if it's a survival game or something like that, but so you start drinking it, and at that point, you can start like a time type of thing. So let's say you have 10 seconds or however many to consume that full liter. But so based off of that, depending how long the player holds the button down, let's say they only hold it down for 5 seconds, then you know that you're halfway through the bottle, so you only got half a liter, right? Um, so that's how I would do it. It would be kind of a cool interaction to see, as you play, you pick up the bottle and you like bring it to your face, you see your hand, you see the bottle, and okay, you hold down the interact button for like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, and you can see like the volume increasing, that you're drinking. Because you also have to factor, I think unless you want to do like a single type of, not time-based interaction, you pick up a 1 liter bottle, you got an extra liter in your system. So, but yeah, that that's how we do it. Hopefully it was helpful, or and not that didn't confuse you slash set you back any anymore. Um, yeah, well, so um, it's all quantity, right? I think the only place where you would use time would be the interaction if you so choose to, have like a timed interaction when it comes to consuming the water. Um, but um, um, but I think it's I think I'm not sure why do you say it's unnecessary to calculate the actual water? Because I mean I do like the idea of, that would be, it is a quantity either way. Um, to what you set it, that's entirely up to you. Um, it's also a matter of how you calculate the consumption of it, right? Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, I get it now. Yeah, that's totally fine. That's also a mechanism that's probably used in most games anyway. So yeah, totally. Um, okay. Well, so guys, I think that's gonna be it for me for today. I still gotta, go out and do a little bit of shopping. But yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Matt, glad to have you. Thank you so much for the questions. Hopefully that was interesting, the little a side quest, so to speak, into Hitman, and looking at some of the mechanics in there. I mean, the more you spend time to look at something, I think it's easier to understand. Like we were just looking at that, and we I think we were able to figure out, okay, there's like, these types of NPCs, and then the the ones that some of them will detect you quicker. They're in like a higher state of attention slash um, alertness. So if that was useful, then we can do a few some more like that. We're trying to look at a behavior, and like I said, I don't do this for work, or it's a hobby, a very very mm, I would very passionate about it type of hobby. But we can look at it, these types of mechanics, and try to like dissect it, and it's like, well, you know what, I would do it like this maybe. So guys, yeah, that's gonna be it for me for today. I plan to do another one tomorrow, and if you check out the more in the description of the video, there should be a link to Discord. So I'm not sure if you get notified if I set up a live stream or something, if I schedule it. But yeah, tomorrow around I'm gonna try and do the regular time at 1 maybe 2 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully that will work a little bit better for folks, because I think in the UK right now, Matt, is like what, 12:30 a.m. uh, for folks to join a little bit easier. But yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate having you, and showing some of this stuff. Thank you, Julius. Thank you so much for the kind words, man. I really appreciate that. All right, so guys, yeah, have a good night, good rest of your evening, or good morning, depending. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. All right, take care, everybody.